Welcome back to another episode of Tides of Change. Each video takes a dozen hours to bring to life, so it would really help the channel if you could leave a like. And remember, members get early access to the next episode. Now then, back to the story. Ging Kong jumped up into the air, extended his pole to the size of a small building, and slammed it down into the forest to create a path for you guys. Galadorn has pleaded with him and you, with you guys in the party to rescue the children. He's going to stay back to protect the circle because him and Theron are the only two, combat-capable individuals left. So he and Theron are staying inside. Arista and Elorena have jumped onto Rox, who's transformed into a dragon when you were all chasing the vampire inside the circle. So Arista and Elorena and Rox take to the skies immediately. However, everybody give me a perception roll. So your highest mental stat plus perception if you have it. It's a skill, right? I think
it's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill, yeah.
So only the skill.
No, your skill plus your highest mental stat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Solaris with 25.
Yeah. Whatever it is, 21. I perceive it.
The air immediately starts to get cold, and all of you are fully aware of the sensation now because Arista had used her wings just a few moments ago in order to connect with Spira's primal soul. Speaking of which, Spira, you still have your primal soul with you, correct? Well, you summoned a dozen of them as well, right? It was about 12. You guys feel the air dropping once more, like when Zanai used her wings as well. It almost feels on the same level as when Zanai was using her wings to fight the demon before, right? You've not seen Arista use magic on this level either. Everybody who scored above 15, your eyes are about to be blinded because a small sun appears above the forest.
Oh my god.
What happens next? A small ball of light has been summoned by Arista in the sky, which has created a minor artificial sun that doesn't emit heat, but emits light, essentially waking up the entire forest. Everybody give me an intelligence roll here.
Oh no, look at my roll.
Oh
yeah,
no.
Sorry. We are not
-1, 0. You rolled a 0 on a d20. Oh, Solaris, because you rolled so well with your perception, I'm going to let that carry over to this. You notice that Hyacinth has completely lost control of their moth aspect and is drifting towards the giant orb in the sky.
Oh no. Oh no.
You can grab her quickly with your tendril.
Yeah, I will grab her with one of my tentacles. Tuck her into my bag.
I've never seen a 0 before.
Yeah, that is the first time I've seen a 0 on a d20 as well.
Hyacinth is just that stupid.
Yeah, like you were drooling slightly as well as you were floating towards the hole.
She's smart in some areas. She's just super dumb in some areas.
She's got a high wit stat.
You are street smart.
I'm street smart, not book smart.
Nyx, based on what you heard from the exchange before with when Solaris spoke last time about the vampires, you figure that Arista has cast this artificial sun in order to try and slow down the vampires with their progression because they do not like sunlight. Sunlight is not lethal, but it makes them lethargic. Arista is trying to help out the party by slowing them down while they leave. There is a consequence to this, however, because the entire forest just woke up. And I believe Ging Kong warned you guys about the flyers. The sky erupts with the sound of 100,000 small wings fluttering as the entire canopy seems to take off in unison at the sudden shift from night to day. The sun that was created by Arista is almost blotted out by the sheer shadow of the innumerable flying lizards in the sky. They have small feathered wings and dark green scales for their skin, and they are zipping around everywhere. Galadorn opens his mouth in shock, and he's like, she just woke up the Dream Eaters.
What are those?
There's a reason why the Monkey King brought you guys here at night. They are a predatory flying species where they have a powerful sedative as their venom, and they're named Dream Eaters because they put you to sleep and that's your final dream. What you guys see immediately is a giant fireball lighting up the swarm of reptiles that were about to attack Arista, Elorena, and Rox. Rox is using his dragon's fire breath to kill them in the thousands as they try to swarm them. Galadorn is like, my daughter! Do you guys want to reassure him?
They'll be okay. Arista knows what she's doing. She's very smart.
You guys notice that several of them are falling down from the fire and the ice, because Rocks and Arista are basically a combo here. They've got Arista's wings that is freezing the air, and then Rocks setting them on fire. The Dream Eaters are dropping in their thousands, but there are so many of them that it doesn't seem like a distance. And you guys notice that they start flying off towards the direction of Vtuber. So they are heading in the opposite direction to where the vampires are going there. You guys are going to be heading north. They're heading west. So even though Arista and Rocks are powerful, they can't stop an entire forest of Dream Eaters. So they are protecting themselves while making a quick escape. The temporary sun that Arista has created is still hovering there. What do you guys do?
I can't be making plans. I'm stupid.
Every minute that you spend standing there, like thinking about what to do, is another minute that these children are being taken further and further away from their home. These children have never left the circle before.
Spira just starts walking very quickly, and just her ponies are on a line, like beside her, like protection. But she's not really waiting for anyone right now. She's just going.
Okay, Spira is charging forth. What do the rest of you do?
I'm gonna follow Spira.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to now be doing rolls to see how you guys can handle the sleep deficiency. Nyx, on the other hand, does feel slightly more refreshed than everyone else because they just gained a second tail. They're on a runner's high at the moment because of the sudden surge of power that they got from their second tail. So we're going to be doing group rolls. Yay! So we roll as a team.
Oh no, I'm sorry guys in advance.
Everybody give me your first stamina roll. I am going to be factoring in that we do have a small army of ponies that can help anybody who rolls particularly badly, so give them like a moment's rest. Okay, Solaris 12, Hyacinth 10,
Wait, stamina.
9. Oh, despite that runner's high. So you guys trudge into the forest. You can hear the swarm of Dream Eaters above, but the clearing is out of the way, and it seems that they are laser focused on the dragon. At the moment, the entire forest's attention is on the dragon. You guys are able to reach the end of that clearing in a decent amount of time, but it becomes very apparent that you guys are tired. Your eyes are droopy and sleepy, and you've now reached the end of the temporary pathway made by the Monkey King, and you are now entering into the forest itself. That was the warm-up roll. Now you're entering into thick jungle. At least it is daytime, so you can at least see your footing a bit more. And you don't have to worry about the ember lines. Everybody give me another stamina roll.
Oh no.
Oh, oh, Spira.
Spira.
Thank you, Gina.
Oh. Oh. Okay, so Nyx passes out. Spira notices this and gently places Nyx on top of one of the ponies, who starts carrying a very sleepy kitsune.
Stay on a high.
They were on a high and they crashed very quickly.
Yeah, typical
Right.
kitsune.
Now that you guys have a sleeping party member, morale is going to drop quite a bit. So give me a composure roll, everybody. Or resolve. You can pick. Composure or resolve, one or the other. Except for Nyx. Nyx, you're fast asleep. I will give you a wake up. Okay, man. Spira is determined. You have the option to wake up Nyx. You have your medical knowledge, but you could also do the good old slappy slap.
Oh, can I do it? Can I do it?
Yes. Every stamina roll we're doing is a few hours.
Oh, what?
In that case, Spira is gonna his shoulder a bit and just say like, hey, I think we might need you in a bit.
Nyx, give me a resolve roll. Otherwise, Solaris is going to get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, you're still fast asleep. You can't fight it. You just like 5 more minutes.
I will try to persuade, not too gently, but not too violently as well.
In that case, using your deception skill.
Oh,
Ooh.
couldn't fail.
Can't believe this.
Happening.
You guys are cursed. You guys are cursed.
Yeah. I slap Nyx and scream at them. What would Jiro say?
I heard, what would Jiro do?
Your eyes shoot awake when you hear Jiro, and you're greeted by a very angry looking Abyssal.
Yeah, and I'm rolling my eyes.
Spira seems to be the main one focused on like dragging forward. Everybody's rolling so badly. Spira, you have the option here to actually risk taking low-level flight with your summons. You could have everybody climb on top of one of your summons and try to fly over the canopy lightly. You guys are making some distance away from the sunlight. so it is going to be getting darker. It's entirely up to you. There are still the dream eaters around though, like in the sky, but their initial disturbance has started to fade. The ones that are chasing Rox and Arista are still, but some are like returning back to their resting spots in the treetops. It's a risk that you can choose to make. You'll cover more distance if you fly, but you also risk the dream eaters.
Can we find a spot to sleep a couple hours?
Yeah, you could.
Because I don't think at this point we would be any help for the children if we are this exhausted.
Yeah, you guys are very tired.
Sleep on my ponies.
Maybe I can even use my darkness to cover us.
Hyacinth isn't even gonna fight it. She's gonna be like, yeah.
2 people in the party want to sleep and rest and try to make up distance after that. Spira, what do you want to do? Do you want to rest, or do you want to try and fly, or do you want to keep pushing through the jungle?
I wants to continue. Very much wants to continue.
Hey, Spira.
I just woke up. I gotta just keep going for Jiro now.
Hey, Spira. Hey, Spira.
Guys, yeah?
I have a power.
have
Hyacinth
a
is
power?
trying to tell you something, but she's like very sleepy as she's telling you.
Do you mean that you can create a thunderstorm? Because I can fly through a thunderstorm.
No, I can sleepwalk. I can go to sleep and I can travel. My astral body can travel to gain information.
So you can track the children for us while we are sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Nice.
When you guys were training with Zenai, Hyacinth was too small for the physical training, so they doubled their training time with Arista. So they took Astral Projection as one of their magic systems when you guys weren't around with them. Whenever they sleep, they can actually see the world around them and travel with spirits created from their soul. They can never be caught unaware while asleep.
Perfect.
The alarm system.
Basically. Spira, you can use your summons. So you could set your summons to keep watch around you guys while you're sleeping, while Hyacinth tries to scout ahead to find out what's happening to the children.
That sounds
use
good.
my summons to stand guard for us.
Mhm.
I kind of want to continue, but you guys have a point.
You know what? I'm going back to sleep.
So Nyx curls up into a ball and falls straight back to sleep. So everybody give me resolve rolls. I'm going to be determining how good your sleep is. Okay, now you guys are landing it. Holy, now you're oh my goodness. Well, I will state this. You guys, despite sleeping in a forest with a lot of very angry and deadly predators, you get a decent rest. Now, everybody gathers together by a thicket of trees, and Spira's pony army summons start patrolling around the area, and some of them stand by everybody's bodies while they're sleeping. Now, this is one of the few times you've used this outside of the training. So as soon as you fall asleep, it takes a bit of concentration. So give me your spell casting.
29.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the moment your eyes close down, you feel yourself immediately pop out of your body, and you can see your character is nestled there, sleeping very soundly and well. You can see everything around you in perfect clarity. When you look at your hands, you can see a shimmering through them because they are made of spirits, and you notice that the entire forest looks completely different to when you looked at it through your normal eyes. You can see the flow of wild spirits around you, and this is something that's only really achievable under special circumstances or astral projection. So you can see the flow of wild spirits and the directions that they're heading. I will have to give you perception rolls for you to actually be able to figure out what's the different colors and lines and pulses and everything means, but you don't have time to marvel at this amazing sight as the forest seems to come alive with different colors and all of the wild spirits around you. You know that you need to find those children and fast. Give me let's just add your composure and roll to this.
What?
That's fine. You rolled really well previously, so I'll be factoring that in. So yeah, you shoot off towards north. Do you remember where north is? Give me a roll. Give me an intelligence roll.
Oh. It's not fair.
Yeah, you remember vaguely which direction north was because you guys have been roughly heading in that direction for a few hours. So yeah, you shoot off north into the distance. You feel yourself flying faster than you've ever flown before because you no longer have a physical body. Your spirits seem to pass through the air with relative ease, so there is no wind resistance because the spirits are immaterial. So yeah, you've raced through the air without any feeling of resistance. It's a very strange sensation because you don't feel any wind, you don't feel anything. However, as you're heading towards the north, you do start to feel a strange coldness, like a cold sensation that it creeps in slowly, but you start to realize that the colors in the forest start to dim in the direction that you're flying, almost as if a lot of animals were dying in the process. So you can feel the coldness of the spirits coming off of them as what appears to be fighting in the forest. Give me a perceptions.
What is wrong with me?
You do see trees falling over in the distance. The sounds of ember lions and other unidentifiable creatures howling in the forest. As you fly closer, you finally spot the vampire boy from before. He's no longer a boy. All of his different forms have come back together to turn himself into what appears to be young man in his mid to late 20s. It's very hard to tell. What is very clear is the 2 slashes across his neck from the party, from you and Nick.
Serves him right.
What you then realize makes your heart stop for a moment as you spot what appears to be several children in cages, in wooden cages, being dragged along by what look to be hulking men that are covered in a dark fur. They have bulking muscles for shoulders, and they have tiny round ears. They don't look like the Sonwu. They don't look like the Sonwu at all. These ones are much taller, and they don't have tails, but they've got fur all over their bodies, and they're bulky and muscular. They are dragging these cages behind them with the unicorn children inside of them. Give me another intelligence roll. Hyacinth's intelligence roll was high enough that they determined that these must be the Ko that the Monkey King spoke of before during the slapping game.
Oh.
He is very angry and seems to be yelling. Hyacinth, you notice that it's very hard to make out what they're saying. You're a collection of spirits at the moment, so the sound is all mumbled and muffled. However, you can still see what's happening. You would actually see the spirits radiating from their bodies with their emotions. The vampire guy has a very low reddish orange hue coming off of his body, which seems to indicate frustration, anger, and fear. So he's got a mixture of emotions right now. He's afraid of something, and he's yelling at the Ko, who seem to be dragging the children too slowly for his liking.
Can I make an illusion of the Monkey King?
Yes, you can. As you attempt to cast the magic, you feel the spirits that makes up your body draining into the concentration of your spell. You feel your astral form start to weaken as you are almost about to explode and pop. However, the spell is successful, and a dozen or so Ginkgons appear within the camp, causing absolute chaos. And suddenly, you wake up in the encampment because you used all your spirits. Everybody wakes up after having a good rest, and Hyacinth tells you all what just happened.
We should go there.
Yeah, you have no idea how long the hallucination magic will last, but it is definitely going to be causing chaos.
Tonight we ride.
The sun has risen. It is now daytime.
Actual sun.
Can we each jump on Spira's ponies and ride?
It would be really nice if you guys could just keep a lookout. When the ponies are carrying you, they can't go tackle things as easily.
The pony army is ready to go. They mimic the frustration that Spira is feeling, the eagerness to rescue the children. Dexterity rolls. Spira, I'm going to be factoring in that these are your beings, so you'll have a much easier time. Nice. Solaris holds on. Hyacinth and Nyx are struggling.
Oh my god.
Spira comes in. She's also controlling the summons as well. They can be remote controlled. They can also be given orders as well. They mutually understand Spira's desire because they are Spira. So despite you guys holding on a little like with difficulty for Nyx and Hyacinth, the summons themselves seem to be aware of this as you guys take off into the sky. The Dream Eaters don't seem to be attacking you. It might be that they are also exhausted from the confusion of the previous evening. You guys make great distance as you're covering over. In fact, a few hours race by and you guys are flying through, and you wonder just how long it's going to take. However, everybody give me perception rolls. Very nice. Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay. Oh, okay. So Solaris, Nyx, and Hyacinth, because Spira was concentrating on the ponies, they didn't spot this. However, everybody else did. You guys noticed the destruction of trees in the direction that Hyacinth had mentioned during the astral projection. So you recognize this place, and you realize that you've arrived at where they were when you projected before. What you see is several destroyed cages. There are no children inside of them, but it seems some of the cages got destroyed during the chaos of the Monkey King appearance. This could be good or bad. You have no idea. There is a clearing. What do you guys want to do? Oh, yeah, you all have spirit sense. Okay, give me spirit sense rolls. Nyx, add your investigation as well on top of that. So you're going to combine them. I don't usually combine skill rolls together like this, but I want to save the children.
We need to.
Oh my goodness. Okay, 15, 15, 13, 11. Okay, you guys realize that they have shifted away from a northward direction, and it seems that they're now heading in a northwest direction. Solaris.
Yes.
You get a brief flashback to the dream you had in the pond. Spira, some of your summons have evaporated and returned to your body. There are still a few more left for everyone to ride. So you've been pushing this really hard with the pushing forward throughout the night and then keeping them watched during the evening and then having everybody ride on top of them. They are starting to dissipate one by one. However, there's still enough for everybody to ride on. There are about half left. So you've got 6 left. Everybody give me your riding skills again.
It's not that hard after riding a saberfish shark. It's basically the same, just in the air instead of in water.
All right, you guys have definitely gotten the hang of this now. So you are making progress. You can see the ocean in the distance. One more perception roll. Woo! You guys have been pushing through. It is already sunset by the time you guys are reaching the edge of the forest. It has been an entire day of traveling. I'm going to assume that Spira shared their stockpile of food with everyone while traveling.
Yeah.
Before I continue with the results of this roll, can everybody tell me what their character has been thinking during this long day of traveling and flying?
The only thing I was thinking about the whole day was my dream or what happened. Face circle.
I need to save those children.
Exactly. I like the enthusiasm. Excellent.
But also wondering why the Kong was apparently working for the vampire.
Mm-hmm. That is a question.
Don't the Songwoo and the Kong don't like each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to get along because they had those games that they played with each other, like the slapping game. But in more recent times, they've been on edge with each other. That's all that the Monkey King hinted towards you guys.
Hyacinth wonders, but she doesn't think too much about it because she's really focused on the unicorns.
Maybe they know that
Please hear me now.
Kong was helping the unicorns.
Spira was just very, very focused on saving the kids. Also making sure that the entire group was just coming along and not falling off a Pegasus or something.
The results of your perception. Everybody, except for Nyx, spot a crowd of bodies along the riverbank in a forest. The sun is setting, and what you guys notice as well is that it almost seems as if they'd set up camp. They've also been pushing extremely hard to get here, and it seems they've set up a camp for a rest as well. So you might be catching them unawares. You're not sure. The only thing you know is there are cages down there. You can't see how many children there are, but there do seem to be small bodies inside the cages. And yeah, there's a small fireplace and several more bodies down there. What do you guys want to do? You're up in the air.
But it needs to make sure the Spira isn't just headbutting into everything straight on.
You're going in straight? Okay.
How many?
No.
Needs to tell Spira this.
Spira wants to go straight in, so
Yeah.
How many are them?
it's hard to tell because they're under the tree cover, but you guys did see the bodies in
Approximately.
the cages. You see about 10 or so Kongs down there.
Oh, that's a lot.
Should I cause some weather?
You guys all feel a lurch as the Pegasus summons start lurching forward for a dive.
Well, tell Spira that we need to do some tactical things here.
Yeah, are we diving straight in the middle of the camp
You
or
are heading
just
straight towards
near
the middle
the
of
camp?
the camp. You guys are still
No,
quite high.
please.
Someone stop me.
Someone stop
Hey.
them.
Who's got the most persuasion?
I have manipulation if everything fails.
Going straight into camp.
What ends up happening is as you guys are racing down towards, you hear the shouting and clamoring as the Ko have spotted you in the sky. You guys land in the camp, and it seems that a lot of them are exhausted and huffing and puffing. They're not attacking you immediately. You do not see if the vampire man or boy is there anymore.
Okay, if the vampire is not there, or at least not in sight, then maybe the Kong don't know we are here for. So maybe we can just speak with them peacefully.
And in that case, you need to just hold Spira down, please.
You all can see the unicorn children in the wooden cages. You do a quick count and you notice that there's one cage left, and that cage has about 4 children in them. So you don't know what happened to the other 8. Spira, how do you react to this information?
As I said, someone please stop Spira, because otherwise she's gonna do something not too clever.
I can't do anything. I have no strength. I don't.
Yeah, because Spira's first reaction is basically just zeroing in on the poor kids and then just murder everything else. Yeah, if someone doesn't stop her, she's gonna pull her bow and just aim towards the person closest to the kids.
Can I wrap my tentacles around Spira, shove her behind me,
Give me a grapple roll.
and one tentacle over her mouth that she doesn't say anything?
Spira, give me a composure roll.
We are good.
You manage to overpower Spira, who manages to just barely contain their impulse to murder a lot of these very muscular-looking Kongs.
Or herself.
One of the Kongs stands up and walks towards you. All of the Kongs have like a dark black and brownish fur. However, this one walks towards you with a golden blonde hue to it. And it definitely makes him stand out compared to the others. And you also realize that his arms are almost twice as thick as the rest of the Kongs in the group. He approaches Solaris and goes, "You here to pick up the last batch? We've been waiting."
Yes, we are.
Deception roll.
Oh.
I gotten so tired of waiting, I'm not even gonna ask you for extra payment. I'm sick of sitting here babysitting. They've been screaming and crying the whole day we've been dragging them. Ever since that brat handed them to us. Who are those ones behind you? They don't look like other abyssal.
They are friends, don't worry about them. They are here to help me.
Deception roll. Another one. One of the children in the cages recognizes Spira and screams, "Spira, please! Please, Spira, save us!" Composure resolve, Spira.
I mean, I'm still holding Spira. Oh no.
You are no longer holding Spira. Spira.
No, I am. I basically I've wrapped all of my 8 tentacles around her, and I'm just barking towards the children that just shut your mouth, children. I already captured her. She cannot help you, so you do what I say.
The Kong scratches his head, and he's just like, "I thought they were your friends."
I
Strange.
mean, not this one, but the other 2.
Oh, well, throw him in the cage with the children then.
Okay, I think I do. He says, "Is the cage strong enough? Because this one is quite rabid."
It's made out of wood. It's been nailed together. Pira, is there anything, like, what look do you give Solaris for this? Because, yeah, you just rolled a 2 on your composure.
Whatever look, I'm side-eyeing her. Trying to signal her.
Spira is mainly just glaring daggers, like with such intensity that the Kong should just fall dead. But she's mainly focusing all of her anger at the Kong.
Give me an intimidation roll. You notice that after the cage door is slammed on you, that there seems to be breaths of relief from the other Ko. Now that there is a barrier between them and you, the children immediately run into your arms and start crying.
Yeah, Spira's just spreading her wings around them and just glaring. Everything will be okay.
But they took the others away. Where did they go?
We'll find them. You guys close your eyes as soon as I'm out of here, okay?
Oh, okay. They nod and they just feel relieved that there is now another adult with them.
Can I play into it and just say something to Spira, like
Sure.
you never will get out of here alive or something like that?
Hyacinth and Nyx, how do you respond to this?
I don't want to play into it. I'm gonna be trying to look tough.
Play into it.
Okay, so Nyx and Hyacinth, give me intimidation rolls as well.
I'm scarier than Nyx.
Hyacinth stands there and folds her arms, and the air crackles a little bit with energy, which again, some of the Ko look towards each other like, what what the hell? Meanwhile, Nyx just lets out the most massive yawn at the most inappropriate time. The golden co looks towards Solaris and is just like, all right, payment time.
Okay, I think I'm just grabbing. So there is 4 children, right?
Yep, 4 children, we agreed.
I'm giving him 4 gold from my pouch.
Is this some kind of joke? We agreed. 400 gold per child.
No, they told me to give you 1 gold per child.
These are unicorns we're talking about here. We risked our necks dragging through the forest because of this. Oh,
It
man.
wasn't that big of a deal for you.
That's not what those vampires said.
Can I cut in?
Yes.
You're gonna give us those children whether you like it or not. And I'm gonna try to make lightning strike near.
Intimidation, let's start off with that one first. The air shimmers a little bit and a small lightning bolt zips across the sky. It doesn't even land on the ground. However, it does emanate from your back, so it creates like a shadow that covers the front of your body, and 2 glowing orange eyes appears inside of the shadow as you're staring down the cove, which immediately makes him take a step back. Like, what the hell did I just see? The kitten revealed itself.
See, I wouldn't anger her if I were you. So 4 gold it is.
He scratches his head and he's just like, it's been a long day. 40 gold per child. No lower. We've already made bank on the other 8.
20 gold for all 4 of the children, and that's my last offer.
Are you kidding me? This is 10 times lower than market prices.
Good luck selling them to anyone else.
You guys have realized that the sun has set and you hear a voice, a low feminine voice, and there's something odd about it that makes your skin crawl a little bit as from the treetop a lady in a dark black dress appears. Oh, Brachus, brains was never your strong suit, was it? He turns around immediately and he goes, Lady Morgana, what, but they're with you, aren't they? Of course not. Do you think I would work with a centaur to steal another centaur? With a kitsune and a fae, of all things? Why would I send my brother to a fae circle if I had a fae on my side to begin with? And Brachus, the golden Kong, is just like, I don't understand. I never expected you to. As for you 4, what kind of game are we playing here? Did that fool of a unicorn leader send you?
Is she a vampire?
I'm not saying.
Who are you?
Who am I? Lady Morgana. Pleasure to meet all of you. Now, you have some explaining to do. As she points towards Solaris. Why are you on their side?
I'm thinking maybe I can still persuade the Kong, because he's clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed, that this is just a projection or a clone of the woman he knows.
You can try. Give me deception and manipulation. He listens to your argument and he goes, you make a good point. I don't know if she's real. I don't know if any of you are real, but I do know how to find out. He dashes forward to punch the Lady Morgana. As his fist swings through the air, it immediately passes through her body, which seems to move around it as his arm goes clean through. Maybe the Abyssal was right. She goes, no, you idiot, as she backhands him to the floor. Remember, this guy has got muscle mass twice the size of the other Kongs, and she just backhanded him.
Yeah, but they are at least beating each other, so it's a win in my book.
He looks up and shrugs like, okay.
Okay.
I was wrong. You're real. Lady Morgana, what should we do? Well, first off, I want to know what this abyssal traitor is doing over here. Do you want Van Ghoul to skin you alive? Solaris, you recognize that this is one of the abyssal cities named Van Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, do you want Van Ghoul to skin you alive?
Can I just speak to her in private, nodding towards a nearby tree? I will explain everything.
As you approach her, give me a dodge roll. You manage to dodge at the last second, as out of nowhere, a whip of blood appears and cracks at the air, splitting the tree that you were about to walk towards. I didn't say you could approach me. Brachus, please take care of these fools.
Oh, I don't like this change.
All right, combat time. All of the Kongs stand up when they hear this. Yeah, give me initiative rolls, everybody.
Spira is still in the cage. I wanted to go to the cage to free her. Can she shoot arrows through the...
Yeah, she can.
Yes, shoot
Okay, at
through,
least you can do it.
shoot through the bars.
Oh.
All right, so Lady Morgana is up first, then the Kong, and then surprisingly, Brachus. Lady Morgana, who had just used her blood whip, immediately sits down on the stump that she'd created, folds one leg over the other, and puts her hand against her chin and leans forward and does nothing. She wants to watch.
I like her. Is it bad?
Cool. Hello.
She's so badass. I just imagined it. I like her. I'm sorry.
Supposed to like the villain.
The regular Co immediately starts swarming the three of you because one of you has already been captured and is in a cage. It looked like there was about 10, but it was actually about 6.
Oh, thank God.
They were wider than what you thought they were. Reminder for Solaris and Nyx, when you were speaking with Loktao back at the town of Upper, he warned you guys about the Kong and the Sonwu, and he briefly mentioned that the Kongs have incredible strength and regeneration abilities, but they have short lives. And they also get stronger every time they survive combat. So you have no idea how old these ones are, but yeah, just a reminder, they are very scary up close. They come at you. Nyx and Solaris and Hyacinth, give me dodge rolls. Very nice, because one of them rolled a 1.
So he fumbled.
Yeah, he fumbled hard. He immediately punched his friend in the back of his head, which caused the other friend to miss you guys. And thankfully, all of you rolled extremely well, so you dodged the rest of the group as well. However, one of them immediately falls down unconscious because he just took a deliverance-infused primal ability, which doubles their strength stat. So yeah, they just took a massive knock to the back of the head. So one of them is down and out. So there are 5 left, not including Brachus. Go, Spira. What do you do?
Spira is gonna use her triple shot and aim for the back of her Kong. Like, I'm just gonna aim for heart, spleen, stomach, whatever she can aim for. That is just really deadly.
Give me your attack rolls.
Nice.
Oh my
It's
god!
crit success.
Oh my god, he dies instantly. He crit failed on your crit
Wow.
success.
The Angie.
All 3 arrows pierce a vital spot each, so not even their regeneration is going to save them from that one. You are angry. I am sensing that Spira is upset.
I'm an empath, and I think Spira's upset.
There are 4 Kongs left. You hear Morgana on the tree stub laughing.
I'm gonna get all of you.
It is now Brachus's turn. He is absolutely mortified as he looks at his fallen comrades. One knocked unconscious, the other one killed instantly. Yeah, he's gonna shout, and he's gonna primal shout. He roars with a mighty blast that shakes the wind and air. Spira, the cage that you're in rattles and just barely holds together as everybody drops to the floor. The strength of his roar causes everybody, except for Morgana, who was seated behind him. But she just ever so politely puts both of her hands on her ears when she realizes what he was about to do. So yeah, everybody gets pushed down to the ground by his roar, and he leaps up into the sky and is flying towards your group. Everybody give me dodge roll. And you're going to take a -5 because you've been pushed down by his roar.
The acrobatics and plus that. So
Wait, I didn't have my dexterity. Can I go to another roll?
You know you did a crit fail. I saw that.
Oh my god, he's going to die.
Oh no!
at least it's not a crit fail. But
Okay.
close.
Solaris and Hyacinth, give me instinct rolls.
What do I do for instinct
Pure
rolls?
D20.
Pure 20?
Yes, it's
Pure
been a while since
D20.
we've had an instinct roll. Whew,
That's
okay.
terrifying.
Brachus, and you may have noticed he got a double action. He's got action, move, action. He roared at you guys, which grounded everybody, leapt high into the air above the treetops, and came crashing down with both his feet down towards you guys. Solaris just barely manages to dodge at the last second, and Hyacinth is swatted away by the back of his fist. However, your aura is still active, and you fly into the forest and like disappear into the treetops. So the rest of the party can't even see what happened to Hyacinth.
Am I just gone? I'm not in the fight anymore?
You're just in the trees.
Your aura just barely held, but it hurt. It hurt. Like you felt your whole body bend, shaken around violently when flying into the treetops.
Am I out of the battle?
No,
Or?
no, but that hurt. It really hurt. Remember, you're a fae, so your aura is actually proportionally way stronger because you're tiny. So the spirits are more dense around your body. Okay, Nyx, what you doing? Thankfully, he didn't use deliverance and doubled his strength.
Oh my god.
He used roar and then attack rather than deliverance and then attack. So
Can I rush at him with dual wielding swords?
you can go for it. Give me your attack plus martial powers. There are still... Oh my god. You slash with your twin swords against his chest, creating an X mark. You also notice the telltale sign of spirits being absorbed into your blade. There is very little bleeding for the amount of slash that you'd given him. He's got thick skin. Solaris, your little buff machine just went flying into the forest.
Little buff
Thanks.
machine.
She has a name.
Little buff machine. I will call you that.
She has a name.
Yeah, it's in the little buff machine. I'm thinking about using my psychosis on Kong to attack each other.
Okay, yes, you can use manipulation, sorry. Resolve plus manipulation. So one of them starts attacking his friends. Oh wait, no, it's not their turn yet. It is Hyacinth.
Can I fly up to one of the...
Yes?
I'm gonna buff one of the ponies.
Okay, give me resolve plus composure. You guys have not tried this before. I was wondering when this was gonna happen. Spira, you don't see this, but you immediately feel a flood of power enter into your soul as all of your summons plus yourself are buffed. You get a +4 to all your rolls because the summons are one person. I was wondering when you guys would notice this.
Nice.
Ooh. I just buffed an army.
It is now the summons turn.
Into the Kong that smacked Hyacinth away and just sidekick barrel into some aiming for head, some aiming for stomach.
Okay. Okay, so an army of Pegasus descend upon Bracken, who looks up and is like, as he is greeted by a flurry of empowered hooves that start knocking him back. He gets indented parts of his body. He gets a bloodied nose. He is knocked back, and Morgana takes out a fan and just covers her face. She still hasn't lifted a finger to help him. He falls back to where he'd started by her side. Morgana looks at him, and here I thought a golden co was of legend. Shut up, Lady Morgana. You've seen nothing yet. As he spits on the floor. She doesn't appreciate this at all. Isn't this why you were kicked out of the kingdom of Teru? How pathetic. I am actually somewhat disappointed. I thought the golden fur meant something. This angers him a lot. Suddenly, his muscles bulk up to twice their size again. So now his muscles are 4 times larger than the other Kongs there. And he leaps straight towards Nyx. Give me a dodge roll. Oh no. Instinct roll from Nyx. That's 3 instincts down in 2 turns.
Hey.
Remember, you're also using imbuement plus aura.
Yes.
He punches at your sword, shattering the one from the Nobu clan. The sword that was gifted to you by Jiro doesn't seem to break as easily. It digs itself deep into his hand, which is just enough to hold back on the blow, but his punch lands against your aura, cracks and shatters your aura, and hits against your imbued clothing, winding you and knocking you back several meters into your knees. You gasp for air as you've just been winded, where you're like... The Jiro sword is embedded in his fist. Up next is the other Kongs, which had just been hallucinated by Solaris. So the one Kong leaps onto his brothers and starts like wailing on him, which causes 2 of them to turn around to stop their crazed brothers. 2 of them are holding the 3rd one down, meaning that there is 1 left who attacks Solaris. Give me a dodge roll. Nice, you dodge it. You get an opportunity for a counterattack.
I counterattack with my sword.
Also, the ones that are scuffling with each other, one of them flies into the air as they're kicked by their crazed brother, and it lands against the door of the cage with the children and Spear inside of, busting the hinge, and the door opens wide.
Nice. Oof.
Oh!
I think I killed him.
Yeah, you know how I was busy hyping up about the Kong's regeneration abilities? Well, it's pretty hard to regenerate when you cut their head off. So, yeah, it goes rolling. Regenerate from that.
From that, yes.
3 down, 1 unconscious, 2 dead, and 1 crazed and 1 normal one fighting each other. Spira's turn with the +4 buff from Hyacinth. The cage door is open. The children are like at the back of the cage, just huddled together.
Can I use Gale Touch and my bow and arrow at the same time?
I will allow that, but then no movement. So you'll still be in the cage.
So she's gonna use her critical shot on the massive, oversized Kong and use the Gale Touch to help drive the arrows in.
Okay, let's go with the Gale Touch first and then the shot. And then your attack. With the wind, it causes the Kong that was on the ground from where he fell against the cage. It picks him up as well, hurling him towards the golden Kong, the Brachus. Your arrows flip around them so he can't even see the arrows coming as they dodge around the body of his brother flying towards him. The 3 arrows land into his chest and then his brother collides with him, sending the 2 of them to the floor. Nyx, you're up. Yeah, your aura has been cracked. Can try and spend a turn to bring it back, or you can use your other spells, or you can go to hand-to-hand combat. You've been disarmed. Your one sword is broken. That's in your hand still.
Yeah.
The Nobu one. But your precious sword is stuck in the fist of Brachus.
Is it possible I can cast fire on them just to...
Yep, you can use your casting spell. There is a campfire that I described earlier from when they've been waiting and having camp. So you would control that fire over there.
The regular one on top of the gold one. I'm trying to get two for one right now.
You set him on fire. He howls and screams. Solaris, you're up. The hallucinated one is now standing there confused because both of his brothers are down, so he doesn't know what to do, but he's dazed and confused. There's the Kong that's on fire on top of Brachus, and then there's Lady Morgana lightly fanning herself while watching the burning Kongs.
How injured is the one on the top of the golden one?
He's not close to death. He's definitely taken some knocks.
I will go for that one with my short sword, but I will try to pierce through them in order to maybe wound the golden one as well.
Okay, I like it. Try to maximize that damage output. Let's go. Ooh. Okay. Plus the wind from Spira will also make the flames burn hotter.
Nice. Okay, please. Oh, it's not bad.
Oh my god. 34. You hit him in the heart.
Nice.
That leaves one very dazed and confused Kong who is going to be coming out of it. That one will come out of it when it's their turn. However, it is now Hyacinth's turn.
Wait, did I injure the golden one as well?
Yes.
Since there's a high wind, I was thinking about a tornado, but then that would hurt everybody else because that's a big...
No, you can make like a little dust devil if you've ever seen those.
But yeah, but that's not going to do anything but kick sand up in their dirt in their eyes.
It would make a little fire tornado.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yep, you can. Also, first, give me a composure and resolve roll to maintain your resonance with Spira. Okay, yep, you definitely maintain it. In fact, Spira, you feel an extra burst of powers. You get +6 to your next rolls.
Yeah.
All right, give me resolve and composure for your weather magic. Oh, the wind from Spira's wings from the Gale Touch start to twist and turn into a miniature tornado, whipping up the fire from Nyx's spell cast. Solaris, you leap back with pulling your sword out as the dead Kong and Brachus himself are engulfed in a firestorm tornado. You hear the howling inside of it mixed with the laughter of Morgana in the background. Spira, it is the summon's turn. And they can also use Gale Touch.
Do that.
Oh my god, you're cooking. You guys are cooking him alive.
Yeah, once everyone did. Resolve and composure.
No, it was going so well. So what ends up happening is the summons, in their enthusiasm to join in on this, end up actually counter-rotating the tornado, ceasing the firestorm, including putting out the fireplace as well that Nyx was drawing from with their casting magic. What is left standing there is a very cooked and burned Kong. All of his golden fur is missing. His skin is boiled and blistered. It's quite horrific to look at him. He howls and starts to beat his chest as his noble bloodline ability kicks in, and he starts rapidly healing. His skin starts to regrow and his fur sprouts out across. Nyx's sword that was stuck in their fist pops out as the bone regenerates, and the sword flies across and sticks into the tree nearby Spira, and he takes down to one knee as he's panting heavily, as this ability is clearly very exhausting. However, he's back at full health, but he's now like physically exhausted. You guys almost killed him with that firestorm combo. A little fact about the Kongs is every time they survive combat and come back from
Yeah,
near
they-
death, they get stronger.
Stronger,
So
yeah.
he's just a little bit bigger than you last saw him.
Nice.
Morgana starts clapping with one hand. She goes, very impressive. Now that's more like the legend of the Golden Kongs.
But he can't keep regenerating, right? Because he's exhausted right now.
Exactly. At this exact moment, a familiar face appears out of the tree lines, and you spot the vampire boy from before, who comes running out, screaming, I'm gonna kill you! As he spots Nyx and Hyacinth over there.
Give us some break, Jono. We still have the... Oh my god.
You hear a whip crack as Morgana's blood whip had appeared out of nowhere and had cracked right in front of his face. He looks towards Morgana and is like, sister, what are you doing here? And Morgana is like, cleaning up your mess like always. And he goes, no, not now. Let me kill them. I must kill them. As he looks towards Hyacinth. And Morgana says, control yourself, brother. For how many years have you been drinking children's blood? Is that the reason for this immaturity? And she's like, shut up. I don't care. They killed a part of my soul. I must drain them dry until they're nothing but husks. She cracks her whip a second time. That is enough, Kale, unless you want Valen to hear about this. At which point he stiffens up and his eyes open wide and he's like, no. Okay, then come here. She gestures with her fan as he very obediently goes and steps by her side and she says, watch the show. Morgana's turn is done. There is one Kong left who has come to his senses and has realized, wait, my leader is down. He immediately makes an attack for Spira now. So he's flying towards you. Give me a dodge roll. And remember, there are children behind you. There is a consequence for not moving.
Yeah,
I mean, casting 2 spells is very powerful, but standing still for 1 round definitely gives the DM options.
can I use the Gale touch to push him away instead of dodging?
This is a reaction. You gotta react against this. You've either got to dodge or you got to try and block.
I think she's gonna do that because she's not moving.
Yeah, your primal soul shatters instantly. He basically hits you right across the face. You feel a tooth come loose, but you are filled with determination from wanting to protect the children plus Hyacinth's buff. So you don't actually move, just your head knocks to the side and you push your tooth back in place with your tongue and you lock eyes with him.
Oh my god!
Wow.
It still broke through your aura. So your cheek is going to swell after this combat. Spira, it's your turn. Crack knuckles.
Yeah. Punish
She
him.
has a dagger, and she knows where vital organs are.
All right. I'm going to describe this from everyone else's perspective. So they saw this Kong flying into the cage. One of the ponies sacrificed itself, exploding into a sparkle of spirits. You saw the punch strike Spira's face, which only caused her to turn her head. She whips her head back, and you just hear a as a knife enters into the liver of the Kong in front of it. And you hear,
Oh my god.
as it stabs multiple times. The Kong stumbles back a little bit, grabs onto his liver, looks up at Spiro, and his eyes, his pupils dilate, and he collapses back. Spira's wings also opened up at the same time, so the children didn't see what happened.
Aww.
Get him, Spira!
Okay, that leaves Brachus, Morgana, and Kale. It is now Nyx's turn.
Can I get my sword that had been flung into a tree a moment ago?
It landed near Spira. I'll allow it. You'll be able to dash for it and grab it while running towards Brachus. You'll just zip from behind Solaris, grab your sword, and like leap at Brachus. So yes, you slash against the shoulder blade of Brachus. This time the sword seems to cut much smoother, almost as if he's been exhausted and weakened. Despite his power up, like his physical strength, he's still only just barely recovered from his ability, so his skin and flesh hasn't really hardened properly. It's like when a crab molts its shell, it's actually very soft. Yeah, you cut deep into his shoulder, and again you feel the spirits entering into the sword's blade. You also notice it's not had a single chip despite it being lodged into his hand earlier. Solaris, it's your turn.
I think I will go for his throat.
Daggers or sword?
Sword, because I'm already standing practically near him.
Give me that attack.
Whoa.
As your sword is flying towards his throat, he lowers his head and bites down onto the blade. Your sword continues to keep going as it enters, like it starts to cut his cheeks. but he bites down with his molars at the last moment to hold it in place. And you just hear this muffled going like, you've got to be dead.
Oh.
Hyacinth, you're up.
Hyacinth is gonna go in and she's gonna take out her Kilrathi spear since he's busy with Solaris as he's distracted, and then try to drive the spear into his skull. I'm gonna try to throw it.
The Kilrathi staff lands onto his forehead, and you do see a trickle of blood going down, and a little bit of it goes into one of his eyes. So he closes one of his eyes. So he's got Nyx's sword in his right shoulder. He's got Solaris' sword in his mouth, and he's got a needle in his forehead with a blood going into one of his eyes. Oh goodness. Spira, give me a stamina roll. All of your summons start to evaporate except for the one that Hyacinth was holding onto. You just barely managed to hold control over it. So the one that Hyacinth is providing you the buff with is still around. However, you do feel a wave of exhaustion hit you as all of the parts of your soul come back to your body. Yeah, you're breathing heavily, but you've done amazing so far. It is now Brachus's turn. He leaps backwards. All of your swords and your needle pop out. You guys are still holding them. He leaps backwards, uses his regeneration once more.
How?
He is now breathing insanely heavily. He raises up both his hands and is like, I know when I'm beat. I know when I'm beat, and I don't want to fight you guys anymore.
Yeah.
This ain't worth the goal.
I'm tired of this.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he's lucky as hell because he was about to lose his head from Morgana's whip. He dodges the last second, picks up a stone on the ground and yeets it at her face. Kale's hair grabs the stone and crushes it in the shape of a hand. He's like, you'll keep your hands off my sister. And Morgana raises her fan to her face and says, that was a rock, my brother.
Jeez.
I'm out of here. And he leaps back into the forest and he's out of there. He's just like, I know when I'm beaten. He's gone.
Goodbye.
Morgana and Kale staring you guys down. She hasn't done anything this entire fight. Her eyes narrow down as she looks at the group of you and she went, this has been most illuminating. However, we did meet our quota anyway, so I think we've seen enough here. Let's go, Kale. Come on. She stands up and immediately starts to walk away. Spira, you collapse to your knees in exhaustion from the fight. Hyacinth, you feel your arms and legs turn to jelly from that punch from before where your adrenaline is starting to come down a little bit. Solaris, you're breathing heavily, but you're not completely out of the fight. And Nick, you can feel your gut has been like turned inside out. It's a miracle you didn't throw up after you winded you earlier. What do you guys do? Do you want to keep fighting or do you want to let the vampires go?
Hyacinth is like on the floor panting, but she says, Morgana, wait.
Her head turns slightly, so one of her eyes is looking at you, and she slows down her walking to a stop.
The Fae. You said you were working with the Fae. Who?
I'm sure you'll find out eventually. And with that, her body disperses into tiny little particles everywhere. And her brother does the same as he turns into tiny little like fake fae. The two vampires disappear into the night.
Damn it!
Before we call it for tonight, can I collect some of the blood of that Kongs? Because I want to analyze it because it has regenerative powers. Maybe we can do some concoction to do some healing potions or something.
You're entering into forbidden research, but let's do it. Okay, so you collect some of the blood samples. Yay!
I have already a lot of blood samples, but I'm enjoying it.
Yes, but that's where we'll leave it.
Full of it, and like I'm not gonna be able to fit in it anymore.
Nice. You rescued 4 out of the 12 children. Congrats. And that's where we're gonna call it for tonight. Woo! That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. The next episode should be right here. Thanks for watching.